Okay? Then you just pay the delivery fee, which is like anywhere between $5 and $7.
All right, getting back to something, getting back to the subject of police officers getting out of hand and being pushy and even hurting people. Have you ever had an occasion where a police officer treated you worse than he had to?
Actually, yes, I have. And it was because that my friend, his brother was a police officer, and his brother didn't like me, but I wasn't friends with the officer. I was friends with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he used every four-letter word you could think of, even threatening to break my windows and everything like that. So yes, I have had that experience before. So, yes, I can understand what people are going through because I did go through it.
I don't know why, but when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I and my brothers were always being pushed around by a couple of different police officers when we were kids. And I don't know why they had to do it, why they felt they had to do it. But they were just nasty to us, a couple of them. I remember their names too, but I wouldn't say them. But they could be dead and gone for all I know now. I mean, they were much older than us. But they were crabby with us. They didn't care for teenagers, and we weren't causing them any trouble. But I guess it could be a frustrating job that they have sometimes, I suppose. And it comes to the point where they don't trust anybody. And it's almost like they're looking for a fight nowadays. What do you think about that?
Well, myself, I just believe it's a power trip. That's why they get the job. They want to be the one with the power. You know? Of course, that's my opinion again, you know? I just think that they want to be the ones in charge. You know? And if you don't do it my way, we take you in. Etc., etc.
Yeah, I personally knew a security guard that wished he could have been a police officer, but they saw something psychologically wrong with him that they wouldn't let him even go to the police academy and all that. He was a hot shot and bossy when he was just a security guard. Some skinny guy with chip on his shoulder.
Of course.
And boy, he really thought he was important. Yeah.
But my question, referring to something like that, is referring back to the 75-year-old man who got pushed to the ground. To this subject, my question still remains: why haven't those two officers been fired yet? I still want to know this, and I'm sure a lot of people out there really want to know why they haven't been fired yet. You know, this here lays on the police commissioners and the mayor's lap. You know, what they need to do is the police commissioner and mayor need to sit down and have a powwow, okay, and hammer out this, how we can change some of the rules and regulations in the police manual. Okay. You know, if they get caught one time, you're out.
Now, Mike, I only saw that video one time of that 75-year-old man getting pushed to the ground. I don't think the officer really shoved him that hard. Maybe he was just trying to just motion to him to get out of the way, give him a little push. But he did lose his balance, maybe, and fell. I'm not sure that was a violent push. I think that'll be their defense, that they didn't push the man violently. You know?
Well, my question would be, why are his hands on him in the first place then? He didn't harm him in no way.
Yeah, I know. But there's one big mistake they made. Nobody stopped to help him up. Nobody stopped to help him out and see how he was doing. Nobody. They just kept going. As far as I heard, I don't think there was a continuance on the video about it that I could see, but I heard that none of the officers stopped to see if he was okay. He medical attention, right?
Right. Well, I have four different
That was
views.
a big mistake there. Go ahead.
I have four different views of this. Okay?
Yeah.
And you can clearly see from one view that he shoved him very hard. Okay? And losing his balance backwards, that happens with age. But the question still remains, why did he have his hands on this individual? I mean, he could have been mid-30s to possibly early 40s versus someone who is 75 years old. Okay? This never should have happened. Never, ever. And we're trusting these police officers with our lives. Well, you're sad to say, but like I said earlier, that some people are just scared to call them when something's wrong. Because sometimes things get twisted.
Sometimes, but that's only because of the two bad eggs, right? Believe me, overwhelmingly, they're not like that. They want to be helpful. They want to keep law and order. It isn't a power trip with most of them. It really isn't, Michael.
Ron, I disagree with you on that. I believe it is a power trip. You know?
For all of them?
No, I'm not saying all of them. Of course, as I said previously, you have a few rotten apples in every barrel. And those rotten apples have to be weeded out either by the commander or the police commissioner or the mayor.
I agree with that, especially when they have multiple complaints against them, yes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Another question is, why? How could he have kept his job all 18 times and he was innocent? Now listen, that doesn't smell good right there.
Now you're talking about the policeman that had his knee in the neck of George.
Yeah, it doesn't smell good. Believe me.
Mm-hmm.
But 18 complaints on Derek Chevins and nothing happened. Come on. So what they gotta do? Say, okay, it was a good job until somebody got killed. Now they get rid of them. Well, I'd say, don't you think that's a little too late? Because George Floyd had to die first before anything was done. As far as this change, you want change? I'm all for it. I say rock on. Let's get that change done. And as I said earlier again, that if the mayor and the police commissioner can sit down and hammer out something to where some kind of editing with the handbook for the police, they all study the same handbook. I'd like to see that entered as in a nationwide handbook that all cops have to go by the same new rules if they decide to sit down and have their powwow. Ron?
Yeah. There's some retraining needed there, that's for sure. Reform, things like that in these police departments. They have to know they can't rough people up anymore like that, and even kill people. Yeah, I mean, when it's just not necessary to strangle somebody or shoot somebody or anything like that, it's just not necessary. Like I said before, they've got to, when they arrest somebody and handcuff them, they've got to get them in the patrol car as soon as possible and take them to the station. They can't keep roughing them up like that, fighting with them, no matter what their personal feelings are. Your personal feelings shouldn't get in the way of all this work you have to do as a police officer. Agree?
I agree with that, yeah. And most people are holding his George Floyd's past against him. Well, that shouldn't be accountable for anything. The man did his time. Leave him alone. Okay? You know, I don't believe
Yeah.
that should have been anywhere in the scenario of, let's hold that against him. No. Man came out. He tried to change his life. He helped. He was a pillar in the community. Well, he tried to help him.
Well, some people say, Mike, that he became a pillar in the community after he was killed. He wasn't exactly a pillar in the community before that. He was still doing some of the drugs and things like that. And I don't know whether he knowingly was passing a fake $20 bill, but
well, we don't know either. This station don't know either whether he's passing drugs or not. So we won't go there with that
one. Yeah. I don't know that the police sensed he was on drugs anyway, or they didn't. I mean, nevertheless, you don't kneel on somebody's neck or choke them for like 8 or 9 minutes. You just don't do anything like that. There's reform needed there too. Oh well. It's really too bad though that policemen are taking it on taking it hard like this with this kind of criticism, and most of them do not act like that at all. They never would act like that. You see.
That's right.
A lot of, I bet there are a lot more policemen that put their life on the line and get killed more than kill anybody else. They probably get killed rather than, oh sure, a lot of them get killed more so than people get killed for no good reason by a policeman. More policemen get killed by the criminals and stuff like that than by other people.
That's right. But on the other hand, there's police officers who worked 20 years being a cop and never had to pull their weapon one time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had 5 brothers, and among us 6 brothers, only one of us wanted to be a policeman. Only one. But he never made it. He never did become a policeman, but he wanted to be one. And he went into business for himself.
Smart
rather
man.
than do that.
Smart man.
That's the way that went. But he did very well in business. But well, Mike, even though that older brother wanted to be a policeman and never made it to go to police academy or anything like that, he was in the Marines, and I had 2 other brothers that were in the Army, and 3 of us never went in the service for one reason or another, and 3 of us did. And I'm glad my brothers served a country like that. I even have a son-in-law that served his country very well in the Army.
Hoorah.
And I think we could straighten this thing out with the police. I think there can be reforms, and I hope respect for the police can grow again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I certainly hope it does, because we really do need them. Without a police force, we'll have anarchy. So that's all I've got, Mike.
All right. I appreciate it. Well, that's it for this episode tonight. I hope y'all stay around for the next one, or set your Twitter, whatever you gotta do. But I tell you what, we'd like you to give us a thumbs up on Twitter if you've liked it, or even give us a tweet back if you want to hear a different topic. We're open for suggestions. So until then, on behalf of Ron and myself, until next time, may the good news always be yours. And until then, I'm Michael.
And I'm Ron.
Saying good night and God bless.